Hello everybody, IsamuSushi here, and just want to make a video to show how I made my tools for picking the Squire 660, 440, and I'm working on the 220, just barely got it the other day, but had somebody kind of request. So I grabbed some nails that were roughly the same diameter as my key, which is a 16 penny or in the 660 and a 8 penny in the 440. So in other words, 8D and your 16D is your larger one. It doesn't have to be exactly that. It just needs to be roughly the same size as the key. Needs to be able to fit through the hole, so you can always test it through that back. And then you're going to have to be able to mount a pin in there, so you got to be able to drill a hole in the middle of it. You need it wide enough for that. So picked out my nails, and then I grabbed 3 30-seconds dowel pins. These are hardened dowel pins, just at my hardware store. And you can see you can mount that pin in there, snug fit, and you can see it's really close to that size of that key right there. So there would be very little milling. So I drilled my hole in the center of the nail. Now, I have a drill press. Did I set it up? No, I was too lazy. So all of this was done by hand. My tools that are made are right here. These are all silver soldered already for a new house. But anyway, you can see basically drilled my hole, bent my edge over on my nail first, then I silver soldered that tip in there. Now, once I had that silver soldered tip in there, you're able to clean it up and you're looking roughly like this. So new house is going to do the rest of the milling. On my finished one, you can see I've removed roughly half of that nail on the top half, and I've refined that tip to the proper height, so it's no taller than my key when lining up the bottoms of the nail and the key. And then it's no wider than that last tooth, so I'm only grabbing a hold of that bolt. And then I just filed the rest of that down flat. And remember, if you do the dowel pin, those are hardened dowel pins, so I chose to silver solder them in so that when I did the grinding and milling, I had to use a Dremel tool, high-speed tool on this to mill it to shape. I kind of squared it up on the back and the sides, left it kind of rounded to rub on the back of the lock. And then I wanted it to hold permanently, so I silver soldered it, braced it in. That will be a separate video completely. If you need help with that, I do have separate video a long time ago brazing a key for my railroad lock, my disc detainer, brazing that washer into that bolt right there. So you can always check my channel and go back if you want to check it out right away. And that's all there was to it. Then I, was able to mill that down, get it to how I wanted it, and it's able to fit in, turn, and then I have all of that upper space to then get my tool in and be able to pick those levers. As far as the pick is concerned, I grabbed some of these springs from the hardware store, 79 cents a piece. I think the dowel pins, the short ones, were like $1.05. Obviously $2 something for the longer ones. The springs were only 79 cents. So I bent the edge up, and then you can see I've flattened that on both sides. So it doesn't matter which side I'm levering from, left or right. It's flat, so it won't roll off of those. If it's round, you're going to roll off of that lever and slip in between them much easier. So I bent that up, and you can see it's bent considerably higher than any of the teeth that would be in my key. But the reason I'm doing that is because I found it's much easier to actuate the levers at a 90 degrees, so like this, and then getting them to the right height of the key. So I found longer is better on the tool itself. This one was actually originally for the 660, but it was too short, so I thinned it down and made it so it'll work on the 440 and hopefully the 220. So once I bent my tip up and filed that flat, then on this side you can see I just bent the top, bent it again, and bent it one more time to make my little loop handle. You can leave it how you want, doesn't really matter. And that's really all I did. The sizes can vary a little bit, but for the most part, the 8D and 16D nails and a 3/32 hardened dowel pin, that's all you need, and you're good to go. So you can see I'm locked up. You can just insert your tool. You can see I'm all the way through. I'm going to rotate it, make sure I'm grabbing just the bolt. I've found you need quite a bit of tension on these, and sorry, I kind of struggle because I only got the one finger for the tension. And then I'm going to take my tool and insert it straight down and in. So we're just going to go straight over and in, and then put some stout tension on it. And we can lift the levers. You can start from the very back. You can, start in the middle somewhere. There, I got a bunch of movement on the core, or levers, whatever you want to call them. And there you go. We're open right there. Now, this is common. You can get your tool stuck in there fairly easy, but it's not too bad. That's why I wanted to silver solder that, so it's not going anywhere. You can get your tool rotated around and then pull your tools out. And then if you look inside, I hope you can see, but the bolt, after it slides over, it drops forward this way. And that is where you need to overcome your spring tension. So you can see your bolt come in, then it drops out that last little bit. So you see that spring to overcome is pushing that bolt back and then sliding it over. That's not quite the same in these, so it's a little different, but yeah, you need quite a bit of tension I've found on these. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments or on Discord. I'm always happy to help. If you liked, give me a thumbs up. If you disliked, give me a thumbs down. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope this helped. And like I said, I'm happy to answer any questions. Please hit me up. And I have a tip I need to repair, so I will show you the silver soldering technique I used on that if need be. There's a lot of people that have done it before me, so you can always do a search on YouTube to find it if you don't want to wait. Thank you. Have a great day. Be kind. Treat others how you want to be treated. What goes around comes around. Take care.